and Jensen's character being the hot babe character. I sort of am jealous and relieved at the same time. You know, it's sort of like, damn, he gets to kiss them or something. But it's also really weird. When I first shot Gilmore Girls, to go back to that, you imagine stuff, and even to talk about heart, you're like, oh, cool, like, I want to be like a what do they call him? Punk or something like that. I want to be heartthrob, that's the word. It's like, cool, I get a kissing scene. I want to be a heartthrob. And so, like, you're trying to be all cool, and like, it's like, okay, here's where we kiss, and you go into kiss, and they're like, okay, that's great, but Jared, when you kiss, you're blocking her face, so like, turn your head, and you're like, okay. They're like, okay, now lean in, but don't lean your head in. You're like, okay. Like, okay, head up right a little bit. You're like, all right, really? Okay. And they're like, okay, now go on for the kiss. And so you end up like, kind of, you know, and then you're like, are you sure, guys? And so it's never exciting, and it's inevitably kind of awkward, like when we shot the heart scene, which was morally ambiguous. You know, you're running around in like underwear, and like the crew members that you've known for 2.5 years are like, how you doing? Like, I'm all right. How you doing? How's the football game? How's the wife and the kids? It's kind of weird, you know, and you know, the poor girl, she's wearing less than I am. And you feel bad for them because they're around a bunch of people they don't know, and at least I know everybody, and it's all guys, and they're like, I don't care about seeing you with your shirt off or whatever. But it's kind of, it's pretty awkward, so I'm glad Jensen got stuck with it. Hey man, how you going? I'm all right, or sweet, fair income.
I've got a couple of questions, one for me and one. One, what's your favorite episode out of Supernatural?
Okay.
The second one is, at the start of Supernatural, did you ever get confused when people called Dean?
Yes. I'll do the second question first because that's easier for me. For the first couple episodes, when the crew doesn't yet know your name and you don't yet know the crew's name, they just refer to you as your character. And so they'd be like, okay, we'd be blocking a scene, and they'd be like, okay, Dean's over there. And so I'd be like, cool, and like bump into Jensen. And he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then I have to be like, oh yeah, you're right, I'm gonna go over here. So at first it was sort of strange, but now I've gotten used to it after 60 episodes, you know? My favorite episode, I always go back to, I love the pilot. It was a nice way to set everything up. It was a great experience. But really the first and last episodes of season 1, season 2 and season 3 have been really exciting. You know, started off with a bang and finishing it off with a bang. So I really like the, we call them the bookends, you know, like first episode, last episode of each season. Probably not about the undead. I mean, there were many things that went into my ultimate decision to do the show. What? Okay, the script was written very well, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the character. But ultimately, I met with Eric Kripke and David Nutter, who was one of our producers. He directed the pilot, and Wendigo. And then I decided, when I heard their vision for the show, that I really wanted to be a part of it. And so luckily, then they also wanted me to be a part of it. So.
Hi. Second of all, in season 2, I think it was Hell House, when Jensen was putting the itching powder in your pants and you walked out in the towel, was the pec flex part of the script? Or was that something you just threw in there?
I've been found out. I don't think it was, I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier about it kind of being strange and awkward. And I think it was more of like an uncomfortable, like grabbing my towel to make sure that my towel wasn't going to fall off. There was an episode I did in ER long ago, and at the end I'm leaning over the hospital bed, and I remember thinking like, flex your arm, flex your arm. But I remember watching it and going, why'd you flex your arm? Why'd you flex your arm? So I try not to do any more flexing on camera. I just try and be comfortable, you know?
Hey Dad, how you going?
What's going on, man?
I'm wondering, are you happy riding shotgun all the time and driving rentals, or are you looking to get yourself a big black beast yourself?
I'm looking into getting a big black beast, man. I'm a big muscle car fan myself. I have a 69 Camaro, and I've had it since long before the show. So I love the Impala, and I love driving it around. And, you know, hopefully I'll get to do some of that season 4. So I don't always have to shut my cake hole.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hi.
Last week's episode where the loved ones were getting phone calls.
Are y'all on new episodes right now?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So last week's episode, last Sunday night, when the loved ones were getting phone calls from the dead, encouraging them to commit suicide, that one really put the wind up us. Are there any episodes that have that effect on you? Really, you know, freak you out?
Yeah, that one actually was one of them. There are certain things, there's certain things that when you deal with phenomena that exist all over the place, like strange phone calls and static, you know, and television's like turning to static all of a sudden, and now doing a show about it, whenever that happens, I'm like, creepy, I should go somewhere else, like go outside and listen to something goofy. But for the most part, because I'm involved in the shooting of the show and reading the scenes and stuff like that, it doesn't freak me out too much. But that one was pretty scary, actually. Long distance caller. Yeah, that was kind of creepy. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
We're actually quite far behind here in Australia with the series.
I have quite a behind?
Well, yeah, that
Just kidding, sorry.
too. We're just wondering, is there any spoilers for season 4 that you can give us?
Monday, California time, I'm getting the first draft of episode 1 of season 4. So there's nothing I know yet, but Monday LA time, which will be next August or something, Australia time. It still kind of confuses me. I think Tuesday, Australia, I'll have read the first episode. So there's nothing I know yet. I mean, obviously, we can't leave the situation as it is. I don't know who's seen the last episode and who has not. So I don't want to give away too much, but for those who've seen the last episode, they know that we obviously can't leave the brothers apart. So we have to figure out which one is going to go where.
Hi.
Hi.
The industry's still getting over the writer's strike at the moment, and there's a possibility of an actor's strike soon. What do you think? How do you think the industry will handle that? And what unions are you guys with? Is your union signed a deal yet, or?
I'm with SAG-AFTRA. I'm a member of SAG and AFTRA, which are sort of the performers' unions. And a strike would cripple us again. The writer's strike was really tough. A lot of people lost a lot of work, and it was awful. And the actor strike, if it went on, would be even worse. Because with the writer's strike, you're still shooting stuff because there are scripts that have been written. But when the actor strike, everything shuts down because no one's there to act. So it's like you can still write and stuff like that, but nothing's being made. And so luckily, as the days progress, it looks less and less likely that there will be a strike. But if there was a strike, it'd be terrible and really hard to get over. And a lot of shows, maybe even Supernatural, could get canceled because of an actor strike. If they lose too much time, if they lose too much time, then it's better for the studios to completely cut ties as opposed to keep people on holding deals. So basically, we do not want a strike whatsoever, unless you hate Supernatural. Thank you.
As you mentioned before, you know, Sam didn't actually have to shut his cake hole. What would he play in the Impala?
What is it? Aussie Mellow Rock? Aussie Mullet Rock. I think Sam's a bit of a wiener with music. Jared loves what Dean loves. Jared loves Led Zeppelin and Beatles and Stones and, you know, classic rock. But I think Sam might be more into, that's not a wiener, maybe singer-songwriters. Sam seems pretty laid back, maybe like Jack Johnson, which is cool. Sam listens to Dave Matthews. I like that.